Surprising results about Latinx voters. Voting is scary. And Mississippi voting machines are even scarier. I'm Jamal Simmons, and this is why you should care. ECHI's research and a coalition of Latinx consultants have put together a study of 11 key states with significant Latinx populations. They surveyed 8,100 Hispanic and Latinx registered voters by phone and online and with bilingual researchers. It's pretty expansive. Here's some of the key findings they got. President Trump is underwater in every state they tested, but has his highest support in Florida, 34%, and New Mexico, 28%. But let's take a closer look at New Mexico. In that state, Latino women are now 15 points more supportive of the Democrats than they were in 2016. And that's true nationally also. Latino women lean more progressive than men. In Michigan, for instance, there's a 26-point gender gap, and middle-aged Latino men are the subgroup most favorable to the president. In Florida, Trump has a 50% approval rating among Latino men. But if we drill down on one community that's been historically more favorable to Republicans, we see something interesting. 53% of younger Cuban-American men, those under 45, disapprove of the job President Trump is doing. It's unlike Cuban-American men over 45 who tend to support the president. One other point they make in the survey is anger is not enough to energize voters, and all of the anti-Latino talk may help suppress them, keeping them from showing up. Here's another interesting nugget when you look at the issues. Medicare for all, it's more popular with Latinos than Obamacare by 20 to 40 points. It's a blowout. Why you should care. The 2020 campaign could be a game of inches. If anyone wants to win, this is a community worth paying attention to early. There's a lot more to see in this survey, so take a look. We're going to link to it down below. American Horror Story, elections. Finally, somebody admits it. We here at Hill TV talk about it all the time. Politics, voting, the electoral process. It's our job. But tell the truth, when it comes to 2020 elections, you're kind of over it already, right? A USA Today Suffolk University poll might have confirmed that. Pollsters asked voters to give a single-word response expressing how they feel about the 2020 elections. 80% of the resulting words were, well, angsty. People used words like chaotic and train wreck. Did anybody say ratchet? The primary reason seems to be the confidence these registered voters have in the process. When asked if their candidate lost, how confident would you be that the election process was fair? More than 38% of respondents were not very confident or not confident at all. Only 21% were somewhat confident in a fair election process. Now here's why you should care. According to a study conducted by Pew Research last year, the U.S. is significantly behind other developed countries when it comes to voter turnout. Only 56% of those who can vote do vote, but 70% of Americans think voting is important. What? Why is that? Could it be the dread or the fact that voting happens on a Tuesday when most people go to work? Or is it that in many communities, the lines are so long that it takes forever to actually cast a ballot? We gotta figure this out, people. Participating shouldn't be so hard. So you might have just seen the story that we did about people dreading voting. Well, this story right here won't make you feel any better about it. Roll the tape.
Let's see here. No.
How would that happen?
I don't know, it's in the machine.
It is not letting me vote for who I want to vote for.
As you can see, voting machines went a bit haywire during yesterday's gubernatorial runoff election in Mississippi. The now viral video captures the moment when a voter tried to select candidate Bill Waller Jr., but the machine instead checks off his opponent, two-term Mississippi Lieutenant Governor Tate Reeves. That wasn't the only time it happened. Waller did eventually concede the race to Reeves, who led 54-46. So it's unlikely the faulting voting machines made any difference. But these machine problems indicate that we are certainly still vulnerable to hacking and mistakes. Mississippi is just one of 11 states that still uses voting machines that are electronic in elections. Here's why you should care. We're 6 months away from the New Hampshire primary. Though we've made some progress in election security, a recent report from New York University's Brennan Center for Justice said a major way to avoid faulty machines and hacking is to replace antiquated electronic voting machines with good old-fashioned paper ballots. Of course, that takes money. Democratic presidential hopeful Senator Amy Klobuchar and GOP Senator James Lankford proposed a bill to do just that. But when I interviewed Klobuchar in Detroit at the last debate, she told me Mitch McConnell and the White House counsel both called Republican senators to stop the bill. I don't get it. If there was one takeaway Robert Mueller wanted the American people to be left with during his recent testimony, it was that Russia did interfere with the 2016 election, and they have no plans on stopping. Thanks for watching Hill TV on YouTube. Be sure to click subscribe and hit the bell so you know when we post new videos, and head to thehill.com for all the latest political news.